I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government.
This is America.
Because God has ordained the government for his purposes.
Don't get you slipping now.
Okay, f*** off. Just f*** off. Because you know who also used this very same Bible passage to rationalize their actions? Slave owners. So I guess it's no surprise that Jeff pulled out this passage. But if you plan to use the Bible to justify separating children from their parents, take a look here. And ask yourself, how does this make you feel? Is this what it means to be making America great again? What about when you hear stories of the 4-year-old child who was left to take care of other children for days? Yeah, she was reportedly so traumatized that she simply stopped talking. She just curled up in a ball. Or what about the 16-year-old who had to teach other children in the detention center how to look after other children by showing them how to change diapers? Or what about the mother who was told by Border Patrol agents that they were taking her child to get bathed, only to be told half an hour later, you won't see that child again? Or what about this? 2 years old, seeking asylum from Honduras. Is separating her from her parents biblical? Is this what it means to be tough on immigration? Because these are just some of the countless horror stories that American citizens, even American citizens who voted for Trump, would be appalled to find out about happening anywhere else in the world. Children separated from their families, locked together, given foil sheets as blankets and forbidden from playing. But the thing is, it's not happening in any other country. It's right here in the United States. And it's not coming from Obama or the Dems, it's Donald Trump. He's the president, you see. Donnie is an expert on pinning blame on others, and his audience eats it up. It makes it easier for them to digest this horror and still feel good about it. But this policy is not anyone else's, but his. A total of 1,174 children have been taken away from their mothers and fathers in the Border Patrol's South Texas Rio Grande Valley as a direct result of Trump's zero-tolerance policy that requires children to be separated from their parents. And you better believe his minions will do anything they can to deflect or pass the blame. Such as Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, who tweeted, "We do not have a policy of separating families at the border, period." Well, that's interesting because that contradicts exactly what Senior Policy Advisor Stephen Miller pushed for the policy change that Jeff Sessions gleefully announced. So unless close to 2,000 kids voluntarily decided to leave their parents, I get the sense she's channeling her fearless leader and lying through her teeth. But I guess bold-faced lying isn't as bad as Jeff and Sarah Huckabee Sanders citing the Bible as a means to justify the inhumane acts of their administration.
I can say that it is very biblical to enforce the law.
Because we know while Jesus broke bread and fed the masses, he really supported keeping them in cages with foil sheets until dinner time. The reality is this new zero-tolerance policy is in reaction to a very flawed policy enacted under previous administrations. The existing catch and release program offered a gateway for people looking to enter the states and needed rectifying. But how is the solution to a bad policy a wicked policy that dehumanizes and separates babies from their mothers? This cruelty is essentially justified because of this consistent fear-mongering that has been absorbed by Trump voters.
They're bringing crime, they're rapists.
An approach that was based on fallacies to begin with about being tough on illegals because they were bringing crime. Despite the fact that statistically speaking, states with a larger influx of unauthorized immigrants have slightly less violent crime, not more. But the thing is, we know this. All the lying and demonizing of immigrants was never about just targeting MS-13. It is a way to open the gates to justify unimaginable cruelty. Like deporting a Kansas college professor who's lived here for 30 years over a 2012 traffic stop. So let me ask the Trump voters, is that the type of violent criminals your fearless leader was talking about? Is this the America you're so proud of? Because this is the America you voted for. Follow me on Instagram, Francis M. Maxwell, and on Twitter also at Francis M. Maxwell. Like and share this video. You can get the TYT app here. And as always, continue to resist.